Hello, everyone. Good evening to all of you. Okay, I hope the weekend has been wonderful. Okay, let me just get my slides. Hi, Adam. Hi, Ratnam. Hi, Lou. Okay, okay, who's ready? Type number two. Hi, Gary. Hi, Rachel. It's been a while, right? Hi, Tang. Hi, Terence. Hi, hi. Okay, we are a few minutes late. I'm so sorry. Okay, there was a bit of technical issue there. Okay, so right, let's get on with it. Okay, so today's weekly Sunday market update will be presented by me, okay, Anisah Osman. Okay, so I'm going to start with some disclaimer here. Okay, this is a standard disclaimer. The content provided is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. It reflects the speaker's views at the time of publication and may not account for your individual risk tolerance, financial situation, or investment goals. All right, so we're going to start today's Sunday market update with going through charts, okay, of technical readings, okay. The last session with me, if some of you attended, okay, I tried a format of a newscasting style, okay, that doesn't work well. Okay, so this time we're gonna go fully chart, okay, and then I'll discuss and explain further beyond the drawings that you're gonna see later. Okay, so DXY, okay, the US index. Okay, so this is DXY monthly chart. Okay, I use this to review the long term. Okay, so in the white box on the left, you can see long-term trend is downtrend. Okay, and then support two. Okay, why support two is on top? Because since it's a downtrend, so heading towards the resistance. Okay, and above is the support. Okay, so support two is the top blue line here, 103.826. Okay, and then support one is 100. It's a significant round number. Okay, so current price is 98.298. Okay, and then resistance one is 9500. Okay, 95.000, not 9500, sorry. Okay, and then resistance two is 91.773. Okay, as you can see, uh, yeah, I want to do a bit of drawing. Okay, as you can see, this is a bit of double top formation. Okay, and this is the neckline. Okay, so if you measure the height of this, x to x, okay, and this is breakout. Okay, it's gonna go just as much, X to X. Okay, so since this is a monthly chart, okay, so it should be heading towards 95.000 first, and then 91.773, and then to the X level here, which is about 89.845. Okay, so this is the long-term target. Okay, so this double top is a reversal pattern. Okay, so the downtrend is this. Okay, so other than that, we don't see any other pattern. Okay, hang on. Okay, so that's the long-term view for the XY. Okay, let's move on to next slide. Okay, and this is the midterm trend. Okay, midterm trend is sideways. Okay, midterm trend is sideways. Okay, sideways support one is 100, support two is 101.860, resistance one is 96.455, and resistance two is 95.00. Okay, now when they fall into a sideway, okay, another name of this is rectangle or some call it coil. Okay, when they fall into this chart pattern, okay, we can't really say whether it's going to be bullish or bearish until they make the breakout move. Okay, it can be breakout to the bottom. Okay, if it does break the lower box of this rectangle, then it's going to be bearish. If let's say it come here and then it bounce back and break out above, then it's going to be bullish. Okay, as you can see, the 100 level is actually the top level. Okay, and the 96.455 is actually the bottom level. Okay, so we got to observe this and see where it's going to break out, whether it's going to break out above or below. Okay, so this is for the XY weekly, our midterm trend, yeah. Okay, next we have short-term trend is downtrend. Okay, for short term, I use daily chart. Okay, so from this daily chart, we can see, okay, this is a downtrend, a very clear downtrend. Okay, so the first, since the Bollinger Band is a wide apart, okay, so it shows that the volatility has increased. Okay, and the momentum, downtrend momentum has picked up the pace. Okay, so my first target would be 97.573. Okay, and the second target would be around area 96.455. Okay, as if you see, this candle is actually from, hang on, let me, okay, so this candle actually begins from in the November 2025. So it's a strong downtrend. Okay, so I don't see it going up in the quite near future. Even if it comes up, it will come to test the green trend line, down trend line. Okay, it'll come a bit here. Okay, then it will continue downward towards here. Okay, so that's my overview for the XY daily chart. Okay, next we're going to see Euro USD. Rachel, just now I explained the support and resistance upside down is because for downtrend, the support is your target. Just for that particular one. The rest would be in normal order back. Okay, this is Euro. Okay, so this is Euro USD monthly chart as my long-term trend. Okay, long-term chart, basically you use to identify the trends. Okay, so that you don't uh, trade against it. Okay, as for this one, it is a clear downtrend, but there are already few candles that break out from it. Okay, so why I didn't change this to uptrend? Because I wanted to see whether it's gonna hit 1.22308. Okay, to confirm it is an uptrend. You need to break that. Okay, because it may touch that level and then come down and continue coming back into the trend line. So I want to see a bit of retracement. Okay, before I call it a uptrend. Okay, so okay, Andrew. Yes, this is recorded, so you can view that. But anyway, if we got time, yes, sure, I'll share with you how to place the Bollinger setting. Okay. All right. Okay. So a clear downtrend has been breached. Okay. And then, if this is an uptrend, okay, it will revisit the previous high of in April 2021. Okay, which is a strong resistance, okay, because it is unbreakable since 2021. That is 5 years old of resistance. Okay, and then next, the second resistance level is 1.30000. Okay, again, that level is because it's significant round number, so I picked that to be our second resistance. Okay, so let's say it touch 1.22308 and then come back down. Okay, so heading down, the support would be 1.10185, and then the second support is 1.02407. Okay, if let's say this is okay, if let's say this is a double bottom. Okay, so we want to see this height. Okay, breakout, it go as high, X to X. Okay, but it need to break out this neckline first, okay, in order to complete the double bottom pattern. Okay, if this breakout, then it confirmed, okay, this downtrend has no longer valid that and it has become an uptrend. Okay, so this is for long term of Euro USD. Okay, next is midterm trend. Okay, the Euro USD weekly chart. Okay, as you can see, this uptrend is since January 2025. Okay, and has formed a little bit of a sideways top here because they were not able to make a new high. Okay, and in fact, it's just a flat highs with a flat lows. Okay, so this has been said. Okay, so we got to wait a price to break out this level. Okay, to be bullish, and let's say it come down and break the bottom line, the bottom rectangle. Okay, then this will be bearish. I'm writing with my mouse. Excuse my writing. Okay, so if it break out above, then it's bullish. Okay, so yeah, it's when it is in a uh, sideway mode. Okay, so this a little sideway in an uptrend indicates that the trend momentum is taking a breather. Okay, it's taking a pause. Okay, maybe dia sudah penat or tercungap, exhausted a little, so they take a rest. Okay, and then we'll see. Okay, whether they're able to continue the uptrend or whether they truly exhausted when if there is a large seller comes in and push the price down. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, in the meantime, if it is midterm weekly chart, you don't enter. Okay, I won't suggest an entry. Okay, so that's for midterm. Okay, next is a short-term trend for Euro USD. I use daily chart. Okay, it's a clear sideways. Okay, so with that being said, the current price is at the crucial level. Okay, reason why? Because this resistance was developed in June 2025 and still hold strong until now. Okay, so this is at a crucial junction. Okay, what's happened tomorrow? We'll see. If let's say it breakouts and close above 1.19095, then it's going to be bullish with heading towards next support. Next resistance is 1.20619. Okay, so if let's say the price continue downward, okay, so the first level is got to break is this 1.16695 and the second support is 1.14822. Okay, so it got to break that. Okay, then it become bearish. Okay, if let's say it just went up straight, then it become bullish. Okay, so that's for Euro USD. Okay, now moving on to pound dollar. Okay, for long-term trend, again, I use monthly chart. Okay, so the major trend is currently in an up uptrend. Okay, if you notice, this uptrend begins since May 2022. Okay, so that 4 years old of a trend. Okay, so I anticipate perhaps it's going to test the support one level first at 1.40852. Okay, before coming back to test the support line 1.33370. Okay, if let's say it break below that support one, then it's going to head down towards the 1.22382. If not, okay, then it's going to rebound, revisit the support, the resistance one line at 1.40852, and then break out and continue towards 1.49899. Okay, currently this current uptrend looks like it sits in a almost perfect channel. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, if remember the trend line, okay, you need 2 points to draw a trend line, right? Okay, so if let's say it touches here at this 1.33370 and then rebound, then it validate. Okay, and then it will validate, or it will confirm that this trend line is strong. Okay, because uh, two 2 point is a normal trend line, but is third point touches, oh sorry, wait. Okay, if the third point touches, then it confirmed that this trend line is strong. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, if you want to long this position, okay, your first target area is 1.40852. Okay, you can do that. Okay, this is for monthly chart, yeah. Okay, moving on to midterm. Okay, for midterm trend again, I use weekly chart. Okay, for weekly chart, as you can see, the uptrend is since 2022. Okay, but here in before January, sorry, in early January 2025, okay, the trend picked up, a higher speed and then fall a slight has a slight fall, okay, towards the second. Okay, so this is the first trend line. This is second, and then it fall slightly to here. Okay, meaning it picked up a lot of momentum, and then those momentum decrease a little bit to the trend line number 3. Okay, but overall it is still in an uptrend. Okay, so that being said, okay, trend line since 2022, so support of 1.37840 has been valid since 2021. Okay, if you can see here, 2021. So that is a 5 years old resistance. Okay, and resistance number 2 is also 2021, which is at 1.39820. Okay, and then support is here. I pick here as the previous bottom. Okay, which is 1.30402, and the previous bottom is 1.27088. Okay, so this is for midterm, yeah, weekly chart. Okay, okay. So this is okay. Hey, why the chart is weekly? Okay, there have been a bit of mistake. Okay, so I owe you a pound dollar daily chart, yeah? Okay, which I will replace, but then the reading is definitely wrong. Okay, so this is not it. So we're gonna skip this. Okay, next we're gonna review. Okay, I'm gonna share with you the outlook for dollar Swiss. Okay, for long term, again, I use monthly chart. Okay, it's a huge sideways trend. Okay, but then this sideways has been broken. Okay, so it has become a downtrend. Okay, this sideways started to develop in December 2011. Can you believe how long that was? Okay, and it only broke out, okay, bearish in April 2025. Okay, so the downtrend actually begin in August 2022. Okay, because you need 2 points to draw a trend line. Okay, and has picked up momentum since April. Okay, so that being said, current price is at 0.78012. Okay, so the first resistance would be the bottom rectangle, which is 0.83418, and the second level is a previous peak, which was at 0.91789. Okay, and if let's say price continue downwards, okay, since the Bollinger Band, okay, since the band are also widening, okay, and the price is well in the negative territory, okay, which is a bearish area. Okay, so price highly likely to head towards first support of 0.70662. Okay, keep in mind, okay, I noticed that this support, okay, was actually developed in 2010. Okay, so that's how strong that support is. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, whether it's going to hit there or not, because there's nothing else to stop this price. Okay, there's no previous low, there's no previous peak. Okay, so it can be a free fall towards that. Okay, and then the second support is 0.64018. Okay, that is the target of measured height of the rectangle x to x. Okay, so that is a long-term outlook for dollar Swiss, yeah. Okay, next we have a weekly chart for dollar Swiss. Okay, the current trend for midterm is sideways. Okay, meaning this downtrend is taking a breather. Okay, so the current price is in the white level. Okay, with resistance one is 0.81559 and resistance two at 0.84814. Okay, and then support one, if let's say the last candle has broke out. Okay, but we're not sure whether it's going to come back in or not. Okay, so tomorrow is the day that we'll see. Okay, if let's say it touches 0.76703, it's going to revisit a 13-year support. Okay, will it be able to break that out? We'll see whether the momentum by a seller going to be that strong or not. Okay, so if let's say that 13 years support broke, okay, tembus all the way down, then the next level it's going to revisit is 0.70562. Okay, if let's say the candle come backs up and go into the bullish territory of the Bollinger Band, that excuse me, okay, then it will be visiting support resistance level 1 of 0.81559, and then the second resistance is 0.84814. Okay, so that is the dollar Swiss weekly outlook. Next is the dollar Swiss daily, okay, which is obviously sideways. Okay, a strong sideways since September 2025. Okay, it has broke out, okay, of the bottom level of that rectangle. Okay, so highly likely it's a bullish, but sorry, highly likely it's a bearish. Okay, so I foresee that it's going to revisit a 13-year support, which is 0.76703. Okay, and resistance one is actually 0.78536, and resistance two is the previous high, okay, of 0.79524. If let's say it reverse and goes back up, okay, so if not, but what you can see, the last part of this Bollinger Band is starting to spread apart. Okay, so that shows that this downtrend momentum is only just picked up more momentum. Okay, so highly likely it heads down more. Okay, instead of going back up. Okay, so you don't want to try to long. Okay, if I were you, I'll go short. All right, so that is the dollar Swiss outlook. Okay, let's look at our next pair, which is dollar yen. Transfer, okay, a Bollinger Band is actually an indicator which I will show you how to place them later at the end of the session, yeah? Okay, okay, for long-term dollar yen, okay, is a super strong uptrend which was formed since January 2012. You see here? Okay, January 2012. Okay, and then it picked up momentum. Okay, it has increased in the speed. Okay, in year 2021. Okay, which is 9 year after. Okay, all right. So currently, okay, if you notice here, the last three peak here is not able to form a new structure or a higher high, okay, or a new high. Instead, it went sideways. Okay, the Bollinger Band is almost flat. Okay, that is the indication that the trend is in a sideway. Okay, remember what I said earlier? If a trend is in a sideway, meaning this uptrend is taking a breather. Okay, as long as the price remain above this trend line, okay, this uptrend will continue. If let's say it broke down, okay, then it will be testing this support level 140.422, and then test and revisit the previous low of 127.241. Okay, it will visit this support if let's say the price broke out this uptrend line. Okay, the uptrend line 2. This is uptrend line 1. Okay, so if let's say the price continue upward, okay, hang on, let me clear that up. Okay, so if let's say the price continue upward, so it be visiting here this level. Okay, resistance 161.861. Okay, if you notice here, I only have one resistance line. Okay, why? Because this is all-time high. So if let's say it break out above, it can be there's sky is the limit. Okay, so we'll see how strong the buyer's momentum will carries this uptrend. Okay, So that's why the resistance for dollar yen is only one level. All right, let's look at our midterm outlook. Okay, for midterm outlook, okay, I already draw a bit. Okay, it is a long-term trend. It's still there. Okay, this is trend line 1. This is trend line 2. Okay, so you're able to see a clearer picture. Okay, this is sort of a bit of formation of a triple top. Okay, why I say a formation? Because it is not complete. Okay, for it to be complete, the price need to break out this support line. Okay, only then we can use this. The height will be the height x to x. Okay, it should be longer. Okay, basically you just calculate the distance from 140.422 to 161.861. Okay, so that would be the same distance it traveled downward. If let's say it broke below 140.422, which is the second support. Okay, or else if the price remain in the bullish area of the Bollinger, then it will head toward 161.861, which is resistance 1, and break beyond that, it'll make a new high. Okay, so that's the outlook for midterm. Okay, let's look at our short term. Okay, the short term, those trends since 2025 has picked up more momentum. Okay, in September 2025. Okay, but the last candle here, we can see a really huge seller candle, right? Because it went from the top band, from the top Bollinger Band, straight down to the lower Bollinger Band. Okay, that being said, okay, so we got to see whether it's going to continue upward and goes back into the bullish area of Bollinger Band and revisit the previous high of 159.477. Okay, if let's say it's yes and broke above, okay, and go beyond that, then it'll visit the previous high of 161.861. Okay, so that's for dollar yen. Okay, but if let's say price, really continue spiraling downwards, okay, so it's going to visit a support of 154.280, and the second support is 152.785. Okay, so this is the short-term dollar yen outlook. Okay, let's move on to the next pair, which is the Aussie dollar. Okay, for long-term trend overview, I use monthly chart. Okay, and the trend is sideways. Okay, if you see, there's a purple line that I marked from the very peak. Okay, which was formed in May 2011. You see? Okay, so meaning this downtrend is actually a very strong 15 years of downtrend. Okay, so the last two candle has broke out above that trend line. Okay, now you also see this red line, red trend line, right? Okay, I purposely put this red trend line as to mark the 45 degrees of a trend. Okay, so 45 degrees is considered optimum, meaning the momentum is just nice. Okay, so if it is less, meaning it's gradual, it's a slow phase of downtrend. Okay, so the blue box here, I mark the current, the latest trend of a sideways. Okay, since it is in a sideways, I won't say it is immediately a bullish. Okay, and then you can see in that blue box, the Bollinger Band also went sideways. Okay, it went flat to the side, went flat, almost flat. Okay, so that is to confirm, okay, indication that the current trend is in a sideways. Okay, so what I will do again, okay, if it's sideways, I'll wait for the candle to break out to show me whether it's going to be bullish or bearish. Okay, so if let's say it's going to be bullish, so first it's going to be heading towards the support one, resistance one of 0.71525, and then the resistance two of 0.76661. Okay, and then the sub, if let's say it reverse, okay, if it's continue upward, okay, so it's going to be here and then continue up here. Okay, if not, if let's say the price continue downward, okay, so it be heading towards first support of 0.61721 and then support 2 of 0.60054. Okay, so that's the long-term view for Aussie dollar. Okay, it's going to be quite some time in a sideways, but just put it in your watch list. Okay, any pair that is in a sideways, you just put in the watch list because then you'll be able to observe the movement, whether it's going to be bullish or bearish. All right, next, we're gonna have a look at the midterm trend. Okay, midterm trend I use weekly. For Aussie dollar, it is currently in an uptrend. Okay, this uptrend is formed since March 2025. Okay, so it has picked up a momentum a little. Okay, if you can see here, oops, not that straight. Okay, it has picked up a momentum a little, so we'll see. Okay, the current price is actually at the very top level of this rectangle. Okay, and as you can see, this rectangle, so this support, sorry, this resistance is actually a strong resistance, okay, which was formed since May 2023. Okay, so we'll see, okay, whether it's going to break up or downwards. If let's say break up, okay, a breakout upward, then it'll be heading towards 71430. Okay, so current price is at the resistance one level. Okay, so if let's say it failed to break out, okay, instead it comes back into here, then it will head toward first support, which is 61721. Or then next, the second support is 0.60054. Okay, so that's the outlook for midterm. Okay, but if it's come down here, it is still an uptrend. Okay, it doesn't become downtrend just yet. Okay, because then you have this level as your immediate support first. Okay, trend line can also be your support line. Yeah. Okay, so you can observe that. All right. Okay, Patricia is asking, will price always go down towards the support level if fail to break out? Yes, Patricia. Okay, it either that it heads toward the resistance or support. Welcome, Patricia. Okay, good. All right, so let's move on to the short-term trend for Aussie dollar. Okay, Aussie dollar is in an uptrend. Okay, which is formed since November 2025. Okay, and has picked up momentum in the early January. Okay, so current price is resistance since March 2023. Okay, so if let's say it break above, okay, and continue the uptrend, then it will be visiting the second resistance, which is 0.69897. Okay, if let's say it failed, then it come back to trend line 2 and then come back to trend line 1, which still remain uptrend. Okay, if let's say it break way beyond that trend line 1, okay, then it will visiting support 1, which is 0.66639, and then support 2 of 0.65916. Okay, but as you can see, the Bollinger Band is obvious far apart, meaning that momentum is strong. So highly likely this uptrend will continue. Okay, so no way to go short, long is the only way to go. Okay, so that's all for Aussie dollar today. Okay, I still got few more pairs. The time is up. Would you like to listen more, or is this just nice for you? Okay, if you want more, type in the chat number 5. 3, only 3, 4, 5, 6. I did at least 15. Come on, do you want to hear more? If yes, type number 5. Yes, number 10. Thanks, Gary. No worry, Robert. Okay, okay. Kindly do a little faster. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Yes, Patricia, there is a recording. Okay. All right. So let's continue a bit more. Sam, I'm going to continue a little bit more, yeah? Okay, I'm going to do super fast this time. Okay, let's move on to the next pair, which is Kiwi dollar. Okay, Kiwi dollar long term is downtrend. Downtrend since 2014, and then it has picked up more downtrend momentum in the early 2021. Okay, so current price is 0.59485. So if let's say the current trough or the current bottom has not been able to make a new low, okay, that is the first indication that the price is trying to tell us that this downtrend is losing its momentum or become penat. They are exhausting. Okay. So that being said, okay. So as you can see, the first support is 0.55759, which is almost nearing and has a very small area between the support one and the trend line. Okay, so we got to see it got to break out the support trend line, the downtrend line two, okay, and break above downtrend line one, then only then we'll consider this a reverse and it will become an uptrend. If not, okay, then it will continue downwards, which and heading towards support one 0.5579759 and support two 0.54850. Okay, the reason I says okay that it has a small movement towards downtrend because this okay. So this is almost a triple bottom. Okay, triple bottom is a strong reversal. If let's say, okay, the price come here to the neckline, okay, and break above this, so the height X to X, okay, it come to the high of that, okay, but it need to break out above to complete the triple bottom pattern. If not, it's only a triple bottom formation. All right, so that's for long term Aussie dollar. Let's move on to midterm. Okay, midterm is still downtrend. Okay, again, current price is visiting the downtrend line, which is still since 2022. Okay, so if let's say this trend line is broke, then it'll be visiting a resistance one of a significant round number 0.60000, and then second resistance 0.61183. Okay, if let's say it fail and then comes back down, then it'll head towards the support one of 0.57088 and support two of 0.55725. Okay, let's move on to the short term. Okay, short term trend, I use daily chart. Again, okay, the current short term trend is uptrend. Okay, so this is the downtrend line. I draw number one, and the uptrend line is number two. Okay, so this downtrend line has been broken here. Okay, so we want to see, okay, it needs to match to visit here, okay, at this resistance one, okay, and continue the uptrend. Okay, if let's say it's yes, then it will be visiting the second resistance of 0.60583. Okay, and the Bollinger Band is far apart as well. Okay, so it indicates that the price momentum is strong. Okay, all right. So that's for short-term trend outlook for Kiwi dollar. Let's move on to the next pair. Okay, next pair is dollar CAD. Okay, dollar CAD long term in an uptrend. Okay, price should continue upward, heading towards 1.41410, and then resistance 2, which is still since September 2015. Okay, so 2015, that is a 10 years old resistance. Okay, so we'll see whether this time it'll be able to break out. Okay, in year 2024, it did break out, but unable to close beyond it. Okay, it closed below. So we'll see whether it's going to be able to break out this time. Okay. All right. So if let's say it fall below trend line 2, and then revisit a support level 1.34172, and then support 2, 1.31727. Okay, so that's for dollar CAD long term. For midterm, uptrend, okay, resistance 1, 1.41410, resistance 2, 1.44127. Okay, and then if it fail, because the current price is actually below, has fall below the trend line 1, okay, which was formed since 2022. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, if let's say it continue downward, it be visiting support 1 of 1.35750 and support 2, 1.34172. Okay. All right, moving on to short term, which is the daily chart for dollar CAD. Okay, for dollar CAD, short term is a downtrend. Okay, so downtrend, it may head toward 1.36411, which is the support 1, and the support 2 is 1.35413, which is the support since May 2025. Okay, so that's for short term of dollar CAD. Let's move on to the next pair, is dollar Singapore. Dollar Sin, yeah? Okay, long term. Long term, dollar Sin is downtrend. Okay, the price is clearly downward. But look at this, okay? The first resistance of 1.23744 is actually a 12 years support. Okay, so that should be strong, right? We'll see. Okay, the downtrend has picked up momentum since October 2024 here. Okay, so we'll see whether it's going to continue remain below this downtrend too. Okay, and heads toward 12-year support. If broke, then it has next is 14-year support, which is 1.22676. Okay, if let's say the price reverse up. Okay. Oh yeah. Keep in mind, if you see this blue box, I marked this in a sideway because the downtrend is actually developed part of the rectangle. Since it's broke below, then it has become downtrend or bearish. Okay, so the price may go back into the blue box. So we'll see. Okay, if let's say it comes back up, then this became a false breakout. Okay. All right. So let's move on. That's for long term. Let's look at the midterm. Midterm, I use a weekly chart. Again, downtrend formed since 2022, picked up more momentum in November 2024. Okay, current price is the white level. So the nearest support is, the immediate support is 1.26895. If broke that, then it head towards the previous 12-year support, which is 1.23744. Okay, so that's for weekly or midterm outlook for dollar sin. Okay, the final chart is daily short term, which is downtrend. Okay, so immediate support is 1.26895, and second support is again the 12-year support. Okay, why there's no other support than between before that 12-year support? That is because, okay, of the previous activity, it went straight down, okay, from support 1 to support 2. So if let's say the price break below support 1, so it's going to be a free fall, okay, towards support 2. Okay, so it's going to be a free fall if let's say support 1 is broken. Okay, since it's downtrend, so we'll see. Okay, so that's the last pair I have for you. Okay, next I'm going to be sharing with you metals outlook. Okay, I'll do one gold and also one silver. Okay, gold outlook. This is the monthly chart. Okay, as you can see here, there's this very thin line. Okay, so this thin line actually to mark a chart pattern of a cup and handle. Okay, so the distance is x to x, which is already hit. Okay, so there's nothing to the left. Okay, so the sky is the limit. Okay, so that's for gold. Okay, you can go long, but you keep your stop loss sign. Okay, if let's say you enter here for tomorrow, okay, your stop loss should be here. You pick mid of the momentum here. Okay, or closer, even better. Or you want to wait for it to retrace a little bit and then enter. Okay, and then ride to the new high. Okay, so in the meantime, this is only the overall, the big picture. Okay, so the big outlook actually, okay, for gold, for metal especially, I use a different time frame, yeah? Okay, so my long term is a weekly. Okay, so for my long term, I use a weekly chart. Okay, so currently weekly, oh, okay, so the weekly chart, okay, shows only support 1 and support 2. Okay, so if I were you, perhaps I want to wait for it to retrace there or at least nearer that. Okay, so why there is no resistance? Because it's a new high. Okay, so we don't know. There's nothing to the left, so there's no resistance. No upside, okay, so that's for long-term aspect. Okay, and then for me, okay, for me, I use H4, 4 hours chart. Okay, so the uptrend has begun in since 10 December, picked up an increase in momentum in 13th December, again increase momentum some more in January, early January, sorry, mid-January. Okay, so currently the sky is the limit. There's no resistance at all. It can go to any high anytime. Okay, but that being said, the support, okay, is first at 4754.02. The second support is 4531.40. That's for H4. Okay, for short term, I use a 50-minute chart. Okay, 50-minute charts currently is uptrend. Right? Trend line. Okay, so we'll see whether it's going to continue upward. Right? So that's one short-term trend. 50-minute charts off. So, um, at the moment, very high impact. Uh,
Hi, Anisah.
Sam,
We cannot hear the voice. Um, Kindly check the audio, please. Thank you.
you can hear my voice? How about now?
Your voice we can hear properly. The other voice we don't. Yeah.
I see. Okay, thank you, Sam. Okay, so the support one, actually, I see as this level. Okay, and this is support two. Okay, so support one is 89.2850. Okay, and support two is 79.7950. Okay, that's for long term. Okay, next, as for midterm, okay, as for midterm, support one is 97.5565 and support two is 95.8768. Okay, still an uptrend. Okay, support for short term is at 15 minutes. Okay, uptrend super strong. Okay, with support one at 101.7295 and support two at 100.8281. Okay, so if I were you, there's no resistance for silver too. Okay, so gold and silver, there's no resistance, so it can go as high as sky is the limit. Okay, but if you do go long, just watch out. You can also use the band, the midline band, as your first support as well. Okay, so that's all for me, the outlook for today's Sunday market update. Okay, thank you for listening. Okay, I hope you enjoy the outlook. Bye bye, and I wish you